Recording in progress.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, super excited to be here on this beautiful afternoon. Today is day 3, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and type a 777 in that chat box. If you are excited and ready for today, today is our final day, day 3. And we actually have Brandon Boyd and Dr. Josh Lee here on the call. And I'm just so excited because sheesh, I remember being on a call just like this. And a call just like this really changed my whole entire life, my perspective, my surroundings, my environment, the people that I'm actually associating with right now. Wow, ladies and gentlemen. If today is your first day on this call and you never heard about TBX, let me see the number 888 in that chat box, because I just want to go ahead and congratulate you. And also for those who already know about TBX, let me see where you ladies and gentlemen are from. I mean, maybe we have some Floridians, maybe we have people from Utah, right? Maybe we have Houston in the house. Let me see, we got South Africa in the house. We got, okay, all right, I see, shush, let's go. Canada in the house. We have here, let's see, London, UK, Nigeria. All right, let's dive right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to day 3. And today you're actually going to learn about how to really work TBX, right? How does TBX really works? The foundation, learning the vocabulary, learning the go live schedule, what times that we're actually on, right? You can actually choose your favorite time that best fits your favorite, schedule, right? Also, number 3, we're going to go over the strategy, right? The strategy that is going to allow you to really look at the markets in a very unique way. So I'm so excited to share my screen and share with you the I am that center. This is the center that you are going to have access to. And right over here, you are going to follow 3 steps. Let me see the number 3 in that chat box. Just only 3 steps. The first step that we are going to follow is the Academy. And once you click the Academy, you're going to have access to the TBX Academy in English, in Spanish, we have French, we have so many different languages, right? But this Academy here is going to allow you to learn the vocabulary. You see, when you first learn about TBX, you don't know what's bullish, you don't know what's bearish, you don't know about indicators, you don't know that type of language. So via the TBX Academy, you are going to learn what is bullish. The bulls attack up, price is going up. Bears attack down, price is going down. And these are terminologies that you're going to learn via the TBX Academy. Now, once you graduated from the TBX Academy, this is where now we are going to step 2. And step 2 is where now you get to choose a time that best fits your schedule. Yes, a time that best fits your schedule, which means if you go to school, if you're a mom, if you're a dad, if you're working, you still can choose a time where you can actually learn from the comfort of your home. So right over here, we have our first TBX schedule, and we have amazing educators live in the morning, in the afternoon, and at night. But if you have a fast personality like me, I'm kind of a very fast woman, right? And you just want to look at the markets and you want to exit any ideas in the markets within 5, 10, 15 minutes. And I have another schedule to show you, okay? So let's go back right over here and let me go ahead and also introduce you to our second schedule called TBX Binary Pro. And right over here, we have another exclusive schedule where we have other amazing educators, different times and day out of the week. And we also show you how to look at the markets and really just scalp the market, just in and out, I'll say 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And that's it, you're done for the day. But what I like about this is the community, because within these Go Live sessions, you get to ask questions. You get to meet people, see people from all over the world. And last but not least, let me go ahead and activate the third step. The third step is strategies. And when you go ahead and click strategies, you're going to have access to this amazing momentum strategy called the impulse strategy. Now, yes, it is a momentum strategy. Why? Because it shows you the overall direction of the market. And that's all you need. You want to make sure that you are not going against the trend, but you are following the trend. So let me go ahead and click TBX Academy and then boom, impulse strategy, activate the impulse strategy. And then you're going to see this phenomenal strategy activating. Now, I know we have brand new students. For the first time, if you're here, you're going to look at this and you're going to say, what in the world is this? Like, for real, for real. Let me see a 333 in that chat box. If you're here for the first time and you're like, what did my friend just got me into? I was there. And it was the best thing that I ever done. Why? Because if you're not stretching your mindset, then life is not growing. The views of how you see life is not growing in your life. So if you are ready to stretch your mind, if you are ready to stretch your life, if you are ready to stretch every area of your life, starting internally and then physical, let me see an I in that chat box. This strategy right over here is combined with very, very unique indicators. And we have our two creators, okay, of this strategy on this call. They have spent so many hours of their time and out of their life. They have 6 kids, ladies and gentlemen. So think about it. The time that they have put into just to combine all of these indicators to make up this unique strategy called the impulse strategy. Lastly, what I like about this strategy is that it's very simple, very, very simple. All you have to do is just follow the steps. You have access to activate different type of assets. You're going to learn about assets, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to learn about the power of Forex. You're going to learn about the power of commodities. You're going to learn about the power of digital currencies, indices, stocks. And when you get to activate these assets, guess what? Under the alert panel, you are going to see different type of arrows, and you're going to see 2 currencies or the assets that you chose. Now, what I like about what you see under the alert panel is that you get to see 2 up arrows or 2 down arrows. Now, whenever you see a mixed arrow, like up and down, you do not want to focus on that. Why? Because that's a sign telling you, showing you that price is moving very, very slow. Because the impulse strategy, it is a momentum strategy. You want to make sure that both arrows are up and both arrows are down. So for that being said, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Millie Mills once again. It is a complete honor to share with you the very, very basic, essential steps that every student that joins TBX must take in order for them to proceed in the world of TBX. So for that being said, Brandon Boyd and Dr. Josh Lee, take it over. Let's go.
Awesome, guys. Give it up for Millie Mills. She is amazing. We love having her part of the team. She is one of the top Go Live educators of all time in company history. And when we say all time, you're talking about a decade. 10 years will be July. And so shout out to you, Millie. Thank you for setting an example, being a pioneer, blazing the trail. It's people like yourself that gave myself and Dr. Lee an opportunity to actually be on here. So thank you so much. We're grateful. Guys, I want to, because we don't like to waste any time, I want to show you something that we wanted to talk about this TBX success plan. And as a part of this plan, there's really the building blocks to market mastery, basically looking at the next 12 months. As I get started on this journey, am I going to be successful in 12 hours, 12 days, 12 weeks? There is a long-term trade plan. And we talk about this a lot on our Go Live sessions. And I think that you need to understand first is that everyone needs a plan. I remember hearing when I was younger that when you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. You got to have a plan. Now, a lot of people's plans is just to make it to the weekend so they can hang out and do nothing, right? And with trading, their plan is they just want to get money, right? But they don't actually have a plan for the long term. And what it does is in the short term, it actually affects their trading. And so we call it the Benjamin principle. This is something we've been teaching for a long time. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. The reality is you're planning to fail if you fail to plan. And so when you think about this success journey with trading, this part's going to be very important. Be thinking long-term, be thinking in terms of months and years. A lot of people today with this microwave mentality, they're thinking in terms of days and weeks. Even weeks is a stretch for so many people now. They want it like right now. And the thing is that they kill themselves in the short term with trading because they're not planning for the long term. And the reality is, I know that you guys plan to be alive for a long time, right? And so when we talk about this, it's really two different types of growth plans. There's linear growth, which a lot of you have heard, and I'll explain that on the next slide. But then there's compound growth plans, where you can create exponential growth, where there's really no ceiling to the money that you can make. And we're going to explain this in a simple, concise, and compliant legal way. I want to make that clear, because we can't talk about guarantees and here's exactly what's going to happen. Simple growth, when we're talking about linear growth, simple growth, that means something that grows at an incremental fixed amount over time based upon the initial principal amount you put in. So example, 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 = 5. Whereas compound growth, that means something that grows at an incremental rate over time based upon principal amount. So basically, like the money you put in, let's just say it's $500 plus the new growth that is being created. That's why we call it growth upon growth. So for example, 1 + 2 + 4 + 8 + 16, you can kind of see that it's doubling, equals 31. That's what trading can do for you. And we show you that as we give you a specific plan as a part of what we do. When I first got involved, I saw this awesome quote by Albert Einstein. He talked about how compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. You're going to pay the price if you don't understand it. But you can enjoy the benefits if you do understand it. And myself and Dr. Lee, when we first got started with trading, I can tell you, we did not do this. We just thought, man, we can be billionaires by next month. And a lot of people get in there like, shoot, I'm quitting my job next week. And so what happened is we did not put in the proper risk management in the beginning that would really protect our account and grow it long term. Today we do that. When we think about compound interest, we think about growing this in a proper way over a period of time to protect our account, to keep the money, and to grow the account at the same time. And this is what we call the compound effect. This is to take advantage of the compound effect. Consider trading upon a percentage of your account. Like one thing that I like to tell people, they say, well, what percentage do you do? And I used to do 5%. After a couple of trades, I beat up my account and I stopped doing that. Today, typically 0.5%, maybe 1%, something like that. And what it does is it helps to protect your account on the downside while taking advantage of the long-term compound growth effect. Dr. Lee and I talk about all the time. We say, we want to set it up to where we would literally have to lose 100 trades in a row to lose our account. That's not going to happen. I could roll dice and I'm going to win a trade at some point. But the key is to keep good, proper risk management, to think long-term. This is not about quick money. This is about taking the money that you have and growing it over a period of time. Because again, if you're going to be alive 5 years from today, 10 years from today, 15 years from today, then the reality is you're still going to need the money anyway. So you might as well grow it at a rate and a percentage that is something that you know that you can have 5, 10, 15, 20 years from today. So again, it's about protecting the account and then growing the account at the same time. Okay. All right. Now I'm gonna get off this just for a second here. If I can actually get down, for some reason it is not actually allowing me to escape. While I figure this out, because something on my computer just happened, let me see if I can get down here 1 second. First of all, if you guys are getting some value, go ahead and put value inside of that chat box. And I'm trying to click on stop share, but it is not working. Hold on a second. Yeah, I'm escaping out of here, and it's actually not. Okay. But yeah, it's actually not even showing my arrow on the screen. Anyway, Dr. Lee, come and check this while I'm talking. So I'm going to have him be tech here just for a second, because it was, for some reason it was the thing actually disappeared. There we go. So I first got involved. Now it's been over 8 years that I've actually been involved with trading. And I can tell you in the beginning, the mindset that I had back then in comparison to today has completely changed. Number one, trading is the greatest thing I've ever done. What I love about this is it literally has no ceiling to your potential. It is fully scalable. Unlike a lot of businesses, there could be limitations, there could be ceilings on your potential. With trading, there's not. out of all the stuff I've done, including I've done e-commerce in the past as well, there's nothing that has been as great as what I've been able to do with trading. And so it went from networking to learning how to trade, to becoming a go live educator, to also being able to then teach people all over the world on the stages, literally 41 countries at this point, and then to presenting it to Dr. Lee, who today, he actually used to be a doctor full-time, working with patients and so forth. Today, he is now a trader. He's a go live educator. And to me, it's absolutely phenomenal. This opportunity now that we have today to put ourselves in a position where we can change people's lives all over the globe. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the time over to Dr. Lee to basically show you a few more things as a part of this day 3. And then we'll get to the part at the end where we can show you guys basically how you can work with us, get the mentorship that you need so that we can help you with trading and success as well. So with that, Dr. Lee, I'm going to turn it over to you. I don't know if it'll have me on, give me the chance to be on mute or if it's going to echo. But
Sure.
yeah, let's
So
test
mute
it.
there. Bring this up. All right, so mute on both sides. Excellent. Millie, we're doing a quick sound check here because Brandon and I are in the same office. Sounds like there's some kind of echo.
Take over the screen, do a share screen and spotlight.
So 1 second, everybody. Okay. We're still getting the echo on your side, I think.
I'm gonna start over.
Okay. Yeah, maybe if you disconnect.
Yeah.
Appreciate all of your patience. It's great to be with you today. And here we go. Okay. Excellent. Sorry, I was just checking on a few things. All right, perfect. So in any case, let's get right into this. Millie, thanks for the introduction. Brandon, thanks for that information. You know, today is all about our TBX success plan. What is this plan over the next 12 months? How do we best utilize the resources that have been presented to us? And so over the last 2 days, you've had a phenomenal opportunity to meet many of our TBX educators. You've had an opportunity to be introduced to some of the different products, services, scanners, apps, the different resources that are available to you. The question is what to do now? And the first thing I want to really emphasize today is to stay in the game long term. This is the first key component that you have to be committed to from day one. Stephen Covey, he taught a principle in his 7 Habits for Highly Effective People. He said, yep, you must begin with the end in mind. And in order to do that, we have to then, in a sense, see ourselves down the road of where we want to get to, and we have to become committed to that end. So not just only envision it, but we have to commit to it. One of the distinct differences between myself and perhaps other traders out there, and I would even lump Millie and many of the other educators who are on this platform, we've all basically done the same thing, which is that when we started this journey, when we were learning how to trade, we weren't thinking, yeah, I'll just kind of test it out, see how things go, maybe try it for a week, and well, if it doesn't work out, oh well, back to my job, right? We were like, you know what? I am going to make this work. I see the vision, I see the plan, and I am going to be in this for the long haul. So knowing from day one that we would never give up, we would never give in, no matter what the struggle would be. We've lived long enough. Life's got struggles, doesn't it? Millie, you've had struggles. I've had struggles. Brandon's had struggles. Every single person in this academy, every educator, every chairman, even the CEO, Chris Terry, we've all had struggles. We've all had things that we have to overcome. And so part of having a long-term success plan is just having that commitment that says, I'm never going to give up on this thing. And it's not just being committed to I am, right? I really want to emphasize that. And because sometimes people get married to a company, but what I invite you to, in a sense, really attach yourself to is the idea of trading. What trading itself truly can do for your life, what it can become in your life, if you will let it, if you even want it. For me, I wanted that. And so having that long-term commitment was almost more important than anything else. I didn't have a strategy. I didn't know how to use any indicators in the beginning. I didn't know what a pip was. I barely, I'd gotten MT4 on my phone. I was testing things out in the beginning. But when you're first starting out, here's the second truth. We only know what we know. In other words, we don't know what we don't know. And so the next step in a long-term success plan, besides just being committed in the long haul, saying, I'm going to keep pushing forward no matter what, is to recognize and accept that you just simply don't know what you don't know. And so the key to overcoming that is that, okay, with time, I'm going to plug in. All the resources that you've heard about over the last 3 days are those key resources that will help you to know what you do not know. You see what I'm saying? To raise your awareness of all the different principles, because you may look at the chart and think, I think I got this, right? But then you'll come across something, and you're like, wow, it didn't work out that way. And I remember this happened to me early on. When I was first trading, I was looking at the M1 time frame, and I was trading on the euro to US dollar. And I was just placing sales, and I saw all these candlesticks. I didn't even hardly know what they meant, but I just saw all of them. And I thought, from a probability standpoint, if they're all like right here, well, then I'll just place a sell at the top and a buy at the bottom. And I mean, it was literally that simple. What I was doing was trading short-term reversals. I was just expecting price to go back where it had been, a simple kind of statistical concept. And for a long time, I actually won tons and tons of trades. But then all of a sudden one night during the London session, sure enough, price went up to the top of this little consolidation area. I placed a sell expecting price to go down, and then it just kept going up. And I didn't know what to do. You see, I didn't know what I didn't know. And so price just kept going up and up and up. And luckily it wasn't even a big count at the time, but I basically blew the account all in one trade, and I didn't even know what happened. I was just like, what the heck is this? What's a margin call? I just didn't know what I didn't know. So recognizing that you don't know what you don't know, what can you do about it? That's the key. Well, luckily today versus what I had all those years ago, you've got an abundance of phenomenal resources to help get you the right information and help you make the right decisions early on in your learning experience, so that you can start out on a demo account. Number one, don't risk real money when you don't know what you're doing. Step two is plug into the Go Live sessions. You say, I don't know who to plug into. There's so many educators, I don't know where to go. Honestly, you can't go wrong. If you plug into and while there's great educators across all of the academies, we're here today talking about TBX. Within the TBX Academy, there are some phenomenal educators. I wouldn't feel bad about sending my own mother to any one of the educators in this TBX Academy, because I know that they could help teach her the right principles to help her get started and to take her to that next level to where she could do it in both a safe and an efficient manner. And so as you plug into the Go Live sessions each and every day, whether you can get into them live or whether you do it after the fact because the sessions are recorded, ultimately the key is just to plug in. We often give this analogy that you could have the best vacuum or appliance in the world, but until you plug it into the power source, it's not going to do anything for you. So you've got to get plugged in. You are that amazing person that really has tremendous potential, but until you plug in, we can't bring that out of you, right? And so you need to make sure and plug in to Go Live, because on Go Live, we're going to help teach you. We'll teach you the principles of price action and what a pip is and how to do stop losses, how to protect your account, risk management, how to do take profits, all these different concepts that work together. So a lot of what we've talked about thus far is the mindset of success. Okay. Number one, being committed to the long haul. Number two is recognizing that you don't know what you don't know. And there's a common expression out in the personal development world that says that we don't know what we don't know, and that's why we don't have. You see, if we knew, then we'd have what? Have whatever it is you're wanting to pursue in life. That success, that bigger trading account, whatever it may be. And so the gap between where you're at right now and where you want to go is knowledge, experience, and wisdom. So by plugging into Go Live, you develop the knowledge. By practicing first on demo, you gain experience. Eventually you transition to live, but then through that you develop market wisdom. And now the sky's the limit. You can take it wherever you want it to go. Some people do it part-time. Some people like myself and Brandon, we wanted to do this full-time. Other educators, they wanted to do it full-time. The choice is yours on how you want trading to fit into your life. But what we want to tell you today, in terms of your long-term success plan, is that there's really no better place than here in the TBX Academy. Why do I believe that? Because I know most people in life, we're pretty impatient, aren't we? We want our results today. Fast food restaurants, it doesn't matter what you do, you want it now. Social media gives it now. YouTube gives it now. And so because we want the results a little faster, TBX platform with short-term scalping is a style of trading that just accelerates the entire trading process. One simple example to illustrate what I mean by this. Most people with traditional investing, say their 401k or buying a piece of real estate or something like that, they put their money in, or they buy a piece of property, or they put their money into a growth stock mutual fund or something like that. And then they just kind of got to sit back and they got to wait. How long do you have to wait to really make any money in all those things? boy, day after day, month after month, year after year, 20, 30, 40, 50 years before you ever really get to that significant growth. So it takes a long time. You're still taking advantage of the compound effect, like Brandon taught, and you're still taking advantage of investing in these concepts. But the problem is it's so dang slow, right? So put a 7 in the chat if you'd like to accelerate that process, right? While we can never guarantee any specific returns, we can never guarantee any specific level of results. What we can tell you is the purpose behind TBX and short-term scalping is to simply take that well-proven pathway that most people take through traditional investing and just see if we can accelerate it. How do we accelerate it? It's not about get rich quick. It's about take the steps more frequently. And so how do we do that? Well, when we take a trade, if I take a trade, let's just say I buy a property, a piece of real estate. Now in I Am Mastery Academy, we don't do real estate. So, but outside, if I were to buy a property and I sit there and I wait for the next 10 years, on average in most real estate markets, they say, okay, the average value of your property is going to increase X percentage after about 10 years, right? That's 10 years worth of time. Well, what if you could shorten that time period? If the purchase of that property and that 10-year time period was your trade, like we do in the markets, if that certain increase, let's just say it was 10%, it would obviously be more than 10% on a piece of real estate property, but let's just say hypothetically that that's what it was. Well, what if we could, in a sense, shorten the length of that trade? What if that trade, rather than having to wait 10 years, what if we could do it in a shorter period of time? Within TBX, oftentimes we take trades that last minutes to hours. So the percentages, all those things, that depends on how much you're risking and all of that. But ultimately, if you can, in a sense, execute that process in a short period of time, what it allows you to do is accelerate the growth process. Not because it's get rich quick, not because you place one trade and all of a sudden you're a bajillionaire. That's not what we're talking about. You still keep risk small, all that kind of stuff. But if you can increase the frequency of how often you're able to take advantage of those opportunities, now you're accelerating the growth process. Even if it's a small incremental rate, it doesn't matter. It's about increasing the frequency. That's why people love TBX so much, and short-term scalping is because you can accelerate the growth process by just doing it more frequently. That's all it is. If we could take that real estate property and accomplish the same thing in 1 year instead of 10, wouldn't anybody want to choose that? Right? That's why TBX has become so popular. It's currently, I believe, the #1 academy in the whole company because people don't have a lot of patience. That's just the truth of it. So, but the good news is when you learn the fundamental principles behind technical analysis that we use in order to trade, whether it's using impulse, whether it's using any scanner in the academy or any specific pattern-based trading strategy that are taught by the various educators, ultimately doing it on a shorter time frame will allow you to accelerate that growth process. That's the whole point. Again, we can't promise you any specific returns. There's a lot of variables that contribute to exactly how much money you stand to win or lose. And those are some of the things you'll learn in the academy. But my message for you today is, #1, have a long-term mindset. Commit yourself to the long-term. Say, I'm never going to give up. I'm never going to give in, even when it's hard, even when I've taken a loss, even when I make a mistake, whatever I may do to stumble and fall, to get into my own way, to have all those issues, I'm never going to give up. That is what Brandon and I decided. I know that's what Millie decided. I know that's what Jay Awal, Christian Lopez, all of the different educators, Jay Bonham, he's got his own great story. Each individual in this academy has had to commit to that. But second is we had to realize we just don't know what we don't know. You know, in the beginning, when I was first learning how to trade, guess who I watched? I watched Millie Mills. She was one of a number of different educators. I'm like, boy, they seem to really know what they're doing. And so I was on Millie's session watching her figure out how to do this short-term trading. She got me in part into this style of trading. So we all learn from somebody. And so as you tap into the academy, you're going to learn from a wide range of educators who have been there, done that, have really gotten good at this stuff, and to help you get to where you want to go. So embrace the things that you don't know and just say, okay, I don't know what I don't know, but I'm going to plug in. And I know that those epiphany moments, those discovery moments, they'll come. And all of a sudden you'll realize, wow, I can get where I want to go because now I've got the information. But you also need the experience. So final thing is, to gain experience, you just need a lot of practice. Stick with it. Practice, 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 gain that market wisdom, and ultimately long-term, there's no reason, in my opinion, why you can't succeed if you're willing to stick with it long enough. So in terms of the context of our topic for today of a long-term success plan, tapping into the tools and resources, having that long-term commitment, and then plugging into go live, I don't see how you can go wrong. And so in any case, to wrap up my portion of this call, I first just want to say thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to be here with all of you. I'm grateful to be with Brandon. I'm grateful to be with Millie. These are two individuals that I've now had an opportunity to either observe or work with for quite a few years. And I'm so impressed by both of these individuals. They are absolute mentors that I fully endorse, as well as the other TBX educators. Boy, with Jay Bonham, with Jay Awal, with Millie Mills, with Christian Lopez, Daniel Lopez, there's so many, I can't even name them all, with Dr. Oladapo in Nigeria. I mean, we've got some phenomenal educators that I promise you won't be disappointed. So in any case, Brandon, if yours is working back, I'll turn the time back over to you for a moment, but I just want to encourage you all to stick with it. I know there are moments where it can be hard. I do. I've been there, done that. We've had the losses ourselves, especially early on when we didn't know what we didn't know. But once we figured it out, once we got the information that we needed, guess what? All those big losses we experienced early on, they haven't happened since. All those kind of things that can become part of your past, part of your story, but never your future. You see what I'm saying? But you've got to stay committed to it. So thanks for having us on. Appreciate that, Brandon. I'll turn the time back over to you here and I'll mute myself.
All right. Awesome. Thanks so much for that, Dr. Lee. That was powerful. Yes, I restarted my computer and everything's working well. Sometimes you have to restart in life, right? And all I needed to do was restart the computer. It was having a little bit of a glitch. But guys, here's one of the things that I want to tell you that go along with what Dr. Lee's said, and then I want to give you kind of a call to action. I think it's important when you give information and give kind of a call to action to help people make decisions moving forward, get the coaching and the mentorship that they need. Number one is, for some of you, you're in a tough time right now in your life, but you can turn your mess into your message. You can turn your test into your testimony. And right now is that opportunity where you guys have to be able to win in life in general, not just with trading, but also with life. And I want to give you guys and extend to you that opportunity for you to be able to start winning. Because I know some of you are like, man, I'm on my last dime. I just got out of a tough relationship. I'm struggling with health and stuff like that. This could be something with this platform, this mentorship, that could change your life. You know, I'm grateful that I raised my hands over 8 years ago when I first found trading, that I was open-minded for change. And I hope that you guys are open-minded for change. So put in the chat, open for change. I think it's important to be open for change, because change, though most resist it, actually creates growth. It's good to have change. So let me do a share screen. I'm going to show you one slide here, and then we're going to end things. All right. So if you guys wanted to get started with us today, so we have a couple different academies, and today we're talking about TBX. TBX is actually ranked #1. It's the #1 academy in the company. And the answer and the reason for that is, like Dr. Lee talked about, it's short-term scalping. It's quick, right? People don't have a lot of patience. They want to get in something, they want to get out, and then they want to be able to kind of move on with the day. What I would call this is really a lifestyle academy, because before I got involved with TBX, I was on my phone all the time checking trades, and I realized that being married and having 6 children, I didn't want to be checking my MetaTrader 4 app at the dinner table. I didn't want to be on a date with my wife checking MetaTrader 4 and seeing how my US 30 trade is going, right? I didn't want to be in church with the crypto markets open 7 days a week to see if Bitcoin was coming back. We now have something that can create a lifestyle for you guys. So basically, you get started with us for $250. It's month to month. You're talking about $6 a day. $185 is actually included in your first month. It's month to month. There is no contracts. You have a money back guarantee that comes with it as well. That basically says, look, take this month by month, but again, be thinking in terms of 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. You got to give yourself time to succeed in life. You don't go to the gym and get ripped and sliced the first week. Success takes time. And I'm grateful all these years later now to be here, to have put in the time, that now you can influence lives around the world. And if all it does is help to change your situation, then all of this work was worth it. That's why we're here. It's not that we have to be on here. We choose to be on here. So we would invite you to get back with a person who invited you to this 3-day TBX masterclass. I wouldn't even say ask them for the link. I would demand their link and get started. Think about it. What do you have to lose? What do you have to lose except maybe a little bit of time? Like, what if it didn't work? The real question, the faith-based question is, what if it does work? Fear-based is, well, what if it doesn't work? If it doesn't work, then you're just in your situation now, right? So you stay in that situation. But if it does work, asking faith-based, what if this does work? How could that change my situation? That's the kind of question that you want to ask yourself, right? If we're doing this after all these years now, obviously it's working, right? If we have literally hundreds of thousands of people involved, it's working, right? And we want it to work for you though. It's what can it do for you? That's the key. What can this do for you? What's in it for me, right? What's in it for you? And what's in it for you is a lifestyle change if you decide to take action. Get back with the person who invited you to this 3-day masterclass, get the link from them, get started, and let us help mentor you to success with trading. And so, Millie, I'm going to turn it back to you to close things out, and really appreciate you for having myself and Dr. Lee, and again, for really setting the tone and the example for all, frankly, all the rest of us who have really actually come after you, and you've made this platform available. So, Millie, back to you, and thank you for all that you do.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it right back to Brandon Boyd and Dr. Josh Lee. Wow, I mean, even though I am an educator, I was still just taking notes. You always remain a student, ladies and gentlemen. And just like how Brandon Boyd and Dr. Lee expressed to each and one of you, is to make sure that you take this information, really, really dissect it, and get started. Get started. Once you get started, ladies and gentlemen, your life will never be the same. Just access to the information can change the views in your whole entire life. So I just want to thank everyone who took the time out of their life. This time will never come back. But all I can tell you is that this information was intentionally programmed for each and one of you, so you can receive it, plant it in your heart, and take massive actions. I do believe Dr. Joshua Lee and Brandon Boyd believe also that this year is going to be a transformational year for so many lives from all over the world. So I just want to thank you all for your time, and make sure to get back to the person that invited you and get started like right now. Love y'all, and see you guys on the next one. Let's go.